Hey guys, this is Wally with Wild Hacks again. I got one for you today. How to make your own pasta sauce. Why make pasta sauce once when you could make it all at once for several days? Every time this year we get tons of tomatoes and typically have quite a bit of leftover game meat in the freezer that I need to do something with to preserve it longer. So this time I've got we had a bunch of shredded leftover shank meat from elk and deer I shot last year. And we have our mason jars. So basically, recipe's pretty simple. You can Google search a recipe, but make as much as you can fit into your biggest pot. And then we're gonna load these jars with it, one by one, up to right about here. And I'll get these in my pressure cooker in a little bit, and you'll see how we stack those in there and what the end result looks like. Okay, so here I have the pressure canner, and it's not full. This is a really big one. I think it's a 37 quart. We don't need that much space, but always good to have bigger than you need, I guess. I definitely use this whole thing when I'm doing bone broth. Anyway, you could see I'm about an inch from the top, and that's to provide for, these things are going to expand and boil when it's being pressurized. And I've made the mistake of putting it too close to the top, and then you get a bunch of gunk up here on the rim, and then this won't seal, the lid won't seal because you have junk on the rim. So that's the other thing, is you want to make sure all those rims are nice and clean. And when you put the lid on, you're not going to screw it down all the way. You're just going to lightly do it, right? I go till it stops, and then I back it off like a quarter turn. And that way, you know when there's a seal on that, it's not because you cranked on that lid. You know there's a seal because it actually has suction and it's pulling it down. Then you just want to make sure you have enough water that it's not going to evaporate and dry out during the pressure canning process. Now, because this is such a big pressure canner, as soon as I hit my pressure limit, I'm going to turn it off. If it was a smaller one, I'd probably run it for 10 minutes at the recommended pressure. To find the recommended pressure, you just need to know what your altitude is and go off your manufacturer's recommendation. Since we live at 6,000 feet, we use a fairly high pressure to get the job done here. Okay, got the pressure at, I think we're at 15 or 20. I don't know how they rate it. We're at the recommended pressure. I'm just gonna run it like this for about 10 minutes, make sure that it gets to that temperature for long enough to kill any chance of botulism. This being a high acidity meal in the jar, it doesn't need quite as much as if it was a low acidity. Something like pumpkin or beans, you'd need to, I think, do at least 20 minutes, and only with the right pressure. If those being under pressure, people can get sick quite easily. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this one, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.